Well, good morning from our final port. We are anchored right now off the coast of Nafplio, Greece, which is a very beautiful city, part of the mainland, actually. This is not an island, and it is our last day. Our last full day. Tomorrow we are back in Athens and I fly home, and I am not ready. It has been an incredible 10 days and I love Azamara. I'll give you an overview later on today of my thoughts about Azamara and my final review, if you will, of my experience on this cruise, and it has been amazing. I did not vlog every day. There were some days where I just really wasn't feeling it, and I just kind of wanted to enjoy my time, relax, and not feel the pressure of having to vlog and video and film everything. And so I did take a break for a few days. So some of those ports you will not see on video, but I did still post pictures and videos on my Instagram page. So if you do want to see what I was up to in some of these ports that I did not film a YouTube video for, go check out my Instagram page, because I do have lots of things stored there. Under highlights, you will see one for each day of this cruise. So as I said, this is a tender port. We actually have to take boats to the mainland. I'm excited to enjoy one last day in Greece. Open tender was called just a few minutes ago and I am ready to head out. I was going to bring all my beach stuff and go to the beach in the afternoon after I walked around and did some hiking in the morning. But to be honest, I really don't want to carry all of the beach stuff while I'm walking and hiking. That is the downside of tendering. You have to do the whole wait for the boat situation, and then getting back and forth from the ship is sort of a time-consuming process, but we'll see. But there's enough time to see the city and see the town, so I'm gonna head out now. The great thing about being where I am, my room location is very close to where we have been disembarking for every port. So beautiful here. The color of the water. I'm off the tender and about to start my walk. There's a castle up there that I think I want to go to. It's not too far of a walk, only 15 minutes. The other one that I was interested in doing is over an hour, and it's a bit more strenuous, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that one or not. We'll see how I feel. There you can see up on the hill. That is where I want to go, up there. This is really nice. These palm trees out here. These restaurants with a view of this harbor. Well, isn't this a beautiful view of the ship? And all these mountainous backdrop. Gorgeous. So this is where I'm headed. This is the castle area right here. I think I can walk around. Ooh, there's people out there swimming. Wow. That looks incredible. I would really like to jump right in. Now I kind of wish I had brought my swimsuit. Really pretty right here. Gorgeous view. Some stuff right on the water. Looks like people are swimming over there. I'm not sure what that is, but you could just like kind of swim right in here. How cool. Okay, there's somewhere up there, but my maps is telling me to keep going this way. So that's what I'm doing. Wow, look at this gorgeous swimming area. Amazing. Well, this is such a cool spot. Wow. What a great place to just sit and hang out and relax with all these views. Beautiful. Oh, I think I just saw a kitty hiding back there. Yep. Hi. Hi there. Well, I don't know why, but the directions were wrong. That gate back there is closed, so I'm going to try and go back through this other entrance that I just found earlier. See if I can finally make it up to this castle. All right, let's try this entrance. Okay, this must be it. I see some cannons. And then definitely amazing views. Wow. There's where I was, right down there. Now where I'd like to go is up there, but I don't know how to get there. And that gate over there was closed, so maybe it's not possible to get up that far. Still a great view of the ship though, wow. Well, this is a really cute little street. Wow, I like it. Wow, well this is treacherous. Gotta be careful here, for sure. Getting close. Okay. Almost there. That is where I'd like to go, all the way up there, but it's an hour walk up 1,000 steps, and it looks like a lot, but I bet you get the best view from up there, although it's pretty spectacular right here too. There's a lot more graffiti here on buildings than there were in the last few places we were at. Oh wow, there's a lot of people swimming down there. That looks really nice. That water. Can you hear the cicadas? At least that's what we called them growing up in North Carolina. I don't know what they're called here, but they are loud. I guess they could be birds, but they sound like cicadas to me. Okay, so I've translated, or I've pulled up the translation of the memorial. It says, "Holy is this place where they were martyred, so many Greek comrades, those who stepped on bare feet of tyranny, those who steadfastly fought for freedom, those who wrote with their blood the story. This monument is in honor of the prisoners executed by the Germans of Nafplio." Wow, this is bearing fruit. So cool. Well, I've come to the end. There's a little roundabout here, so I can go back in the direction I came. But there is a really good view of the ship from here, so let's go capture that. And we are anchored here today, so you can see the water's been churned up by the anchors. So you've got, that blue, just incredible. And then all these cactuses with their fruit. I suppose that's what they are. I would guess that this is fruit. I've never really seen a cactus sprout fruit before, but I'm not that familiar with cactuses, so. All right, what a beautiful view. Beautiful Azamara Pursuit. Okay, I'm back down to the square, and that is the Archaeological Museum. And I bet that's pretty cool, but I gotta be honest, that hike really took it out of me. I am exhausted, overheated, need water, more water. I already drank the water I brought with me. And I need to sit down because my back is hurting and my eyes are watering from all that wind. So I'm gonna try to find somewhere I can take a break for a second. Gosh, all these streets are just so beautiful, charming. Little restaurants and boutiques. Absolutely so adorable. A lot of places aren't open yet, or at least not populated with people. And it is after 12 p.m., so it's definitely lunchtime. I'm starting to get hungry. I'll find somewhere where I can see the water, have a little bite to eat. Just had one last Greek salad in Greece and enjoyed that meal very much. There's one more place I think I'm going to go here in Nafplio before I head back to the ship. It's now after, it's almost 1:30. So there's a path on the map that supposedly has lots of cats and is also an amazing view. I think it's where I wasn't able to get earlier because of the fence being closed. There's another way that it's taking me, so I'm going to try and go there, see if I'm successful. It's about a 15-minute walk, so I'm heading there now. This looks like the entrance to get to the steps that takes you all the way up there. Kind of wish I'd done it, but it does look very strenuous. And then you have to come all the way back down too, so I think that was just too much for today in this heat. But this is the way it's taking me to get to that path, so I'll at least walk down here by the base. Okay, I think this is the entrance right here to the stairs that go up there. Here is a beach bar. This must have been the one that I saw from up at the castle. But the actual path I'm going to take is over that direction, so. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's under construction or if it's being demolished. Can't read it. None of the signs are in English, but it definitely does not look like anywhere you want to be walking around. So it looks like the entrance to the path is right up here. So I've actually arrived to the path, and then I have to decide how far down I want to go. Very beautiful. What a beautiful view. That water is so crystal clear and blue. Absolutely gorgeous. At least it is partially shaded, so you're not directly in the sun. It's actually not as windy up here as it was at the fortress, so it's a little bit more manageable. It's beautiful. These pink and orange flowers over here. How can you beat that view? All right, I've been walking quite a ways, and there's less shade than there was. So I'm wondering if I should turn around here in a little bit. Also, it's probably not the safest for me to be out here all by myself with like no barrier right here. I could just fall right off. No one would know. No one would hear me. Kind of terrifying to think about. Also, I haven't seen any cats, and that's kind of why I wanted to walk this trail. Because I heard there are lots of cats on it, but I haven't seen one yet. Although, to be fair, it's really hot and there's not a whole lot of shade. Oh, wow. It's a little fountain over here. I'm assuming that's drinkable water. There's where I was earlier, right up there. There's some folks kayaking down there. There's a ship way off in the distance. It's really hot out here. So I'm gonna head back. It's a nice little walk though. Really enjoyed that. Now I guess it's time to head back to the ship. Although I don't have my swimsuit on, I really want to get in that water. It just looks so beautiful. Evidence of cats. Some cat food hanging around. I'm assuming this used to be a hotel up there. It looks long closed and worn down, uninhabited, lots of graffiti. No idea what it is or what it was, but not open or operating anymore. Whew. Okay, I am really overheated, so I think I'm gonna head back to the ship and drink a lot of water, and then find somewhere in the shade to relax. That's my plan. Back to the port. Entrance to the tenders is right over here by this really nice looking small yacht-like ship. I just brought my little towel up here to the living room to relax with this incredible view for a little while till it's time to go back to the room and pack, which I'm dreading, but must be done tonight. Luggage has to be outside of our door by 9:30 p.m. Well, that's it, folks. We have long since sailed away from our last port in Greece, and we are on our way to Athens. I have finished packing. I just put my luggage outside in the hallway where I can see others have done the same. And we had until 9:30. It is about 7:45. I still have not gotten dinner yet, so that is my plan now. But I did want to recap quickly my thoughts on this cruise, because this is our last day. I wanted to make sure I leave you with my final impressions and my final review on Azamara. And it can be summed up pretty succinctly by saying, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I love this small ship. I love the fact that there are only 700 guests. It's intimate. You meet people. You get to see the same people and faces over and over again. The crew kind of just know your name from the early part of the cruise, and then you see them, and that's the case too on larger ships, but not as much because there's not as many venues. You do end up spending a lot of the same time in the same venues each night and just seeing the same familiar faces, and it really does feel like they're family by the end of the cruise. So there's a few things I just wanted to call out that I made a note of throughout the cruise that I wanted to comment on that I find to be different than any other cruise in comparison that I've taken on other cruise lines. So for one, what I noticed on Azamara is you never use your room key except to get in your room. When you order a drink, when you check in somewhere at the restaurant, when you really do anything, I have never once been asked for my key card. They ask for my room number occasionally, so I'll give them my room number, but that's it. And then they remember me, so I don't even have to give my room number over and over again. So even without having purchased a drink package, because I did not purchase any extra drink package for this cruise, I have only been ordering what is included as complimentary, and there are certain alcoholic drinks included complimentary, wines, sparkling wine, beers, cocktails. Certain cocktails are included with your base fare. Also, bottled water is included with your base fare, and every single day my room steward replenishes my bottled water in my cabin. I just put them in my mini fridge and I have them cold and ready to grab anytime I need one. And you can also order bottles of water anywhere around the ship, and they have them when you get on and off the ship in little coolers right by the exit or entrance, which also leads me to the onboard account. So the one thing that is different is Azamara does not have an app. They do not have a website or anything where you can go and check your onboard account. You would need to go down to guest services, ask them for your balance, and they would tell you how much is on your account. Also, for the daily schedule, you get a paper schedule in the room, or you can grab one anywhere around the ship, but they do not have a digital form of the daily schedule. So it was kind of a tricky thing to remember to bring my schedule with me around during the days that I knew what was going on around the ship, because they do not have anything digitally yet. Although I'm assuming that at some point with this digital age, that will be something that they implement eventually. Azamara also does twice daily room service. So your steward will come sometime during midday when you're out and do your regular room cleaning. And then they also come and do turn down service in the evenings, and they do leave little sweets for you at the end of the day. Every single night they are different, they are delicious, and it's just a really nice gesture to come back to your room and have it all ready for you to go to bed with little sweets. Also, the bridge is open air, so I had a very, very good room location. I loved my room location. I was all the way forward on the port side, which is the left side of the ship, like one room away from the bridge. And on Azamara, the wings of the bridge are open air. So I was able to talk to the crew. I mean, I didn't bother them, obviously, but if they said hello, I said hello back in the mornings when we were docking. And that was really cool, just to be able to have that like more personable interaction and get to see them working and kind of hear the chatter that goes on the bridge. Such a fascinating thing to experience on a smaller cruise where you feel like you have a little bit more access to the crew than you normally would on a much larger ship. And the other thing I'll say about Azamara, first, I didn't do any shore excursions, but what I did notice is that they are very, very organized. We were early to every single port. We were early to leave too if everyone was back on board, which most of the time they were back on board long before we actually were ready to sail away. But the communication was fantastic. Anytime they needed to tell us something, they would come and announce on the loudspeaker, although they did note that loudspeaker announcements would be fewer than what you'd experience on regular cruise lines. Other than with Virgin Voyages, where they really hardly do any announcements at all, like ever, except for the first day. But I like them, certain announcements. I don't like the whole tender calling ticket numbers constantly, which they did not do that on here on Azamara, which, you know, with a small ship with only 700 people, the tendering process is very quick, very smooth, very immediate. Open tender was typically called within an hour of us docking. One last thing I'll say too about cruising solo with Azamara, I typically do not go to the solo meetups on any cruise line because they are always at a bad time, like 5:30 in the afternoon when I'm either still up by the pool or getting ready for dinner. And that is the case on here as well. I did not make it to any of the meetups, but they did have them on the schedule. So if you are more adventurous and want to make friends and meet other solo travelers, they definitely have that option available here on the ship. And that will be in the daily schedule as well. But I did not find it hard to meet people on this cruise line. There's always opportunity to make conversation with folks sitting around you, whether it be at dinner, where you can have the option to share a table, or you can choose to be sat by yourself. It's really up to you. So I'm sure that there's more I could mention that makes Azamara different from the other cruise lines, but I think that covers the main points. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on Azamara, what my experience was like cruising solo. I will absolutely be back on Azamara if I can find another good solo deal. Yeah, I'm thrilled with my experience on here and I can't wait to be back. It is now time for dinner and I think we have a sunset outside. So I want to go catch that too and then get one last dinner on board before we disembark in Athens tomorrow morning. It feels like just yesterday I was boarding the ship in Istanbul, and here we are 10 days later, about to arrive in Athens and say goodbye to the Azamara Pursuit. Final evening around the ship, I did go catch the final show in the Cabaret Lounge, and I have to say the crew are so multi-talented. They just can do everything. They are constantly doing activities and entertaining the guests, and it's pretty incredible. This is a wrap for me on Azamara Pursuit. Don't worry, I will be back. If you enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up and go watch the rest of the series if you missed those those previous videos and subscribe if you're not already to get notified for future videos. I have some really exciting trips coming up, so stay tuned for those. Thanks so much for watching. Happy cruising. I will see you in the next series. Goodbye.